Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Amethyst Rune Witch, and today I'm going to be mixing it up a little bit with thanks to one of you guys who made the suggestion of doing book reviews. So I've got a few in mind, but the first one I want to start with is Lunar Living by Kirsty Gallagher. Because this book, like, there's a bookmark in it. I use this. I love it because it's not split into full moon, new moons. It's split into the sign the moon is in. So it talks about the energy of the sign, what what that sign is ruled by. Like, it does go through everything. Like, just looking through the chapters. There's an introduction, then the first part is moon magic. So it's all about it's just breaking it down, and it does go through the different the different phases of the moon. And then it talks a little bit about the zodiac moon and sun signs, because it's a whole thing. But then part 2 is the biggest part. Part 2 is the big one, because it is quite literally, that's your table of contents. That's part of your table of contents, but it's most of it. So it's the moon in Aries, and it does go through them in order, starting with Aries and moving all the way through to Pisces. And when it does that, so just looking at the moon in Aries, so it talks about Kirsty's experiences, how she feels towards it or from it. And I think that's always interesting, because it can be helpful to have other people's experiences to inspire, to tell you that you're not going crazy, you are experiencing this as well. So she does that. She talks a little bit about how the moon in Aries generally can be helpful within life. She talks about Mars, the god of war, which rules Aries, and then she talks about the new moon in Aries, gives an idea of when it will happen, how you can use the new moon to, at least 3 things that you can use that new moon for. And then she goes through the full moon in Aries, when that falls, the energies, and 3 things that you can use the Aries full moon to do. Plus keywords, some extra things at the back, and then it just moves straight into the moon in Taurus. It's literally that easy. And I've currently got moon in Sagittarius highlighted. But this is, if I'm going to reach for a book about the moon, this is the one I do. I do have a moon calendar, a moon phase calendar, by the wonderful Moon Phase Studios. So yeah, I have the Moon Phase Studios 2025 wall calendar. Now, this is the small version, but there is a full-size poster version. It's the whole year in one spot. So this white bit, that's a full moon. That's another full moon. And these darker bits, that's the new moon. All of that. And it's all easily seen. So not only does the Moon Phase Studios have that in one spot. It shows you what the moons will be called at that time. So, for example, January is the wolf moon. So that's what that full moon is known as. You know, it doesn't just, it shows an awful lot. Let me just grab this and see if I can show you. So it shows January, full moon, it's the wolf moon. And just for the record, all times and dates are correct to the UK. So whatever time it says, it's UK time. So if you're on the east coast of America, you would add 5 hours. So where that says 10:02 p.m, that's actually going to be at 3:02 a.m. on the 14th of January, as an example. So that full moon is the wolf moon. Sorry, apologies for the glare. Let's see. So you've got the months, but you've got you've got these long dark, that's the end of the month. So you've got a month, but you've got the signs that straddle it. So you've got the Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, start with Aries. It's just great because this new moon is at 1:45 in the morning on the 28th of February. So again, if you're on the east coast of America, that would be 5:45 in the morning. That's the moment it reaches peak energy. Now, there's specific associations with these colours. That's for like anyone who's a gardener. So I tend to ignore that because I'm not I don't have green fingers. I'm not a green witch at this point in time. But there's lunar eclipses, there's solar eclipse, there's the Lyrids and estimated arrival. It's May 6th, 7th. Right? It's great to have it in one spot. But you've got all the full moons. So you start with all the new and full moons, like all the different phases and how that changes. Then you've got the whole year being all the numbers, and it's even dayed. So February ends on a Friday, starts on a Saturday. So that's a thing. And then we've got all the different zodiac signs, but based on where they start. So this one starts on the 19th, 20th of January. That's when Aquarius season starts. And then, sorry, this is a little bit all over the place because I forget things, but you've got the different zodiac signs. So each one, that's so 23rd to just after the 24th, that's when the moon is in the sign of Capricorn, and then it moves into Aquarius, 25th into the 27th, and so on. And it's such a great thing to have. I loved having it. I had it in 2023. It's a gift from a lovely friend, and I forgot to get one for this year. I thought my diary that I acquired would have that sort of information in it, and it didn't. So I have missed having this. But yeah, so it starts with all the phases of the moon, the full moons, all the different types of moons, because there's supermoon shown, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, more, I want to say shooting stars, but it's not a shooting star. It's the particular groups of, I want to say asteroids, but I could be really, really wrong. But yeah, so it starts with all of that. It starts with the moon stuff. Then it moves into the sign that the moon will be in. Whether it's a new moon, a full moon, a first or third quarter, waxing gibbous, waning gibbous, and all that. It's all here around the outside. Then you've got the year calendar. There is always a gap at the top, so that tells you that 2024 was here, and 2026 will be starting there as well. But with that, so it's the year, as well as that, we get the Mercury retrograde information. So that's these purple, and then there's another one. So with those, that's the Mercury retrograde. That's when Mercury is retrograde. Most people don't love them. I don't mind them. It's not a bad time, in my opinion. I don't mind them. But so those are, I think those are on here because those are the most, that's the one that almost everyone knows about, and someone somewhere will complain about Mercury being retrograde for, something going wrong in their life. I don't know. Something. Someone blames it for something somewhere. So, following from the calendar, you've then got the zodiac signs, and it goes through all of them. Absolutely every single one. Then we've got the names of the full moons within that time. So it lines up with the months. So whatever full moon happens in the month of March is a crow moon. That one also happens to be a lunar eclipse. So we've got it's going to be a fun time, I think. I love eclipses, they're brilliant fun. So following from the names of all the different full moons, it does, I know it has done in the past, it just seems that there's no blue moon next year. Yep, no blue moon. So that means that every month next year has its own there's no doubling up of full moons. I don't think there's a blue new moon. Although that I believe is called a black moon, but that's a by the by. So full moon names, and then we've got the different Wheel of the Year celebrations. It doesn't give you the dates of all of them. It gives you the 2 solstices and the equinoxes. Imbolc is the 1st of February. Always is. Beltane is May Day, more commonly known as the May Day. Lunar is the 1st of August. And then Samhain is better known as Halloween. So that's usually sort of celebrated around the 31st of October, but you could push it to the 1st of November if you really wanted to. And then there's some lovely artwork in the middle, which is really pretty. But I did miss having this this year. I've missed having it in 2024 because this is definitely a 2025 calendar. I missed it. But yeah, so this plus my amazing Lunar Living book by Kirsty Gallagher are the 2 books I use when it comes to moon related stuff. So my blog posts, I use Kirsty Gallagher as a point of reference. I add in my own feelings of it. It's all there. I do have some other books on the moon, and I think I don't think I've read all of them. I have not read all of them, but you know, that's a what's it called? It's not a problem for another day. It's a task for another day. That's the word. That's the phrase I was looking for. So yes, and of course, as well as this moon phase calendar and the Lunar Living book, I have my lovely Lunar wall hanging and my cat called Luna. Because who doesn't? She's actually called Luna because of this. So there is that as well. So yeah, I genuinely do love this. It's a very good point of reference. If you're just getting started with the new moon, the full moon, and things like that, and you're not wanting to get into the what I call the nitty-gritty details of like the waxing and the waning, the first quarter, third quarter, and all of that, this is about as simple as it gets. All you need to know is what sign the moon is in. And then, open it up. So, for example, the moon in Virgo, use the Virgo new moon to be present, make a plan, go back to school, because Virgo is very earthy, lots of learning, and, very organised. And what was the other one? Yeah, really organised, grounded, earthy. It is what it is, if that makes sense. Like, that's just the simple bit. You've got the Virgo full moon. It's genuinely all in here. Kirsty does go through the different phases and how the moon's energy shifts, but it's more to do with, I use it mainly for the new moon, the full moon, and I love it. So this is what I recommend. This is my go-to moon. I do have some moon related decks. I've got a couple of moonology decks by Yasmin Boland. Those couldn't be helpful as well. I've used those in the past. I've got some like starting simple. I've got a couple of moon decks actually. I've got one that I bought as a kit, and then I've got at least one that I've gotten through Witch Casket's subscription boxes. But yeah, if you're going to get a book, I would recommend getting Lunar Living. It's very much well loved. So yeah, I hope you found this helpful. I hope I haven't rambled too much, confused anyone. If you have any questions, please do ask them. I will answer. I think Moonface Studio do have their poster calendars. If you want one, I'll pop their website in the description. But yeah, Lunar Living by Kirsty Gallagher. And it does have a shiny, the writing is shiny on the front and the stars. But other than that, it's legit just looking at the different, at the moon, and I love it. So, hope this has been helpful. I really hope I haven't rambled too much. And I will see you again soon for some more magic. Stay safe, everyone, and blessings to you all.